I was trying to bring consciousness to people as to what slavery was, what the experience of the slave ship actually was, you know, and how that in itself was traumatizing, you know. I mean, that's one of the worst experiences, I guess, that any people has ever suffered, you know. To be brought 90 days in the dark on your back in chains to a place you don't know where you're going.
The first act is called Slave Ship. It's written by Amiri Baraka. It's a 40-year-old play, and it shows the mental, the physical hardships that these people had to go through when they were on the ships, on the slave ships, and what kind of smells and you know, there was puke all around, there was piss, there were babies crying, and there was no light, and how they had to go through all this for days. So the first scene of the first act covers that.
The tragedy is now that you have a generation of youth, black and white, who know nothing about slavery, know nothing about the slave ships. But if they do, they'll tell you, oh, that was a long time ago.
Bristol City Council launched a program, Abolition 200, to celebrate the fact that it's been 200 years since slavery was abolished. Well, not slavery, the slave trade. And what they did was they launched a series of art projects so they could educate the people and inform the people about what the history was all about and what they're going through now, what is the current situation. And yeah, so this project is a part of that abolition program, just to educate people and show them what the history of slavery is.
Slave Ship by Amiri Baraka is appropriate, I think, in Abolition 200 because it looks at the horrors of slavery, the horrors of the slave trade, and doesn't deal with any famous person, just deals with anonymous individuals whose names were lost, you know, to history. And I think it makes the audience face up to, you know, the real horror of slavery.
Thank you, sir. I'm here to buy. Breeding, lots of children. He's an agile slave, sir. Ploughing, grinding, load bearing. How much?
Bristol was one of the biggest ports where the ships came and left from during slavery. I think one of the first ships that left from Bristol was called the Beginning.
Okay, let's go. A good cargo of black gold, let's go.
Our actual physical landscape in Bristol has been shaped by the slave trade. Areas of Clifton were built through the profits of the slave trade. And a lot of the Georgian architecture in Bristol and in Bath was built through the proceeds of slavery.
Well, Bristol was a big port of where the slaves were brought to, and where the ships left from and where the slaves were brought to. So there are almost 15,000 families still left behind from the slavery.
We've got a cast of 28 actors, 8 dancers, 3 musicians.
The way we got our team together was basically we wanted the local Bristol community to be part of this project. That's the reason this project came to be. So instead of approaching professional actors and stuff like that, we put posters out for auditions. Anyone who was interested in acting, who was interested in dancing, who wanted to explore theater, they were most welcome. About 40 people came and auditioned, and all the people who are part of the play now are in some way or the other related to Bristol locally and are part of the Bristol community. We also do have professional actors, and you know, they're doing a fantastic job. Even the ones who are not professionals are doing a great job, and yeah, they're all here. But some of the actors who are involved are actually part of the workshops that we held before we started the auditions. So for about 3 months before we started working on the play, we ran workshops for local people. It was free. Whoever wanted to come could come along, and we basically trained them to be actors. And you know, we had dance and music workshops. We had improvisation workshops, and some of the people who wanted to be part of the play are now in the crew as well.
Touch my hand, woman.
Ifanami!
Moshalke!
Lights fade out, music goes up.
Whoa, what happened to me?
That's what I was waiting for. That's what I was waiting
I'm
for.
sure I was just to jump up after I'm second one up, innit?
You missed your line, that's what happened.
See, I think,
Okay.
It's difficult, it is a challenge, but it's something that I really enjoy doing. And it's also a point to show that not a good performance is not always done by professionally trained. It's the heart, it's how you feel about the subject, how you, it's an expression, dance is an expression. So if you able to explain to people you have in front of you to express the emotion, then you have a good piece. There is no, you have to be like this and like that. Open your fingers and open, revolt, revolt.
Kill you, you black savages! White beasts! Devils from hell! I'm gonna kill you, black savages! White beasts! Devils from hell!
The music actually is one of the most important things, especially in the first act, because the author's written dialogue, but in the form of music. So even when there are no words happening, the drums and stuff, do all the talking for you.
The second play is more into contemporary because it's a storm and yes, just moving from completely traditional, move a little bit into contemporary stuff.
So I always had this idea of adapting the play and ending it in the present. And I've known Edson Burton for quite a while. He's performed at poetry gigs that I've organised. And without actually me asking him to do it specifically, he turned up with his play called Land.
The second act is kind of more set in the modern era. It tries to show what lives for these people was post-slavery, and how they used the freedom that they were given, and whether you could actually call it freedom or not. And it kind of lets the audience decide what they take from it, but that's what the second act is about. So it's quite far apart, gaps, a couple of eras really.
Freedom tastes sweet. They can't wait to start work. I'm going to take this amount of land, plant it, and grow sugar on it.
I'm gonna get me my 40 acres and a mule. I'm gonna find me some family I ain't seen for a while, but first, I'm gonna look after Greg.
And as for you, Dudley, I say it real simple so you understand. There ain't no 40 acres, and there ain't no mule, except of course for you.
He's right.
I've been duped. I don't fall for nothing.
Allow me to introduce you to your new masters, Mr. and Mrs. T-Rex. Y'all been working for him as free men and women. This is his land now. You understand that you work good, you get paid good. Now, of course, he can't pay for no housing, no food, no shelter, etc., etc. Oh, and education. Now, that's all your business. Well, what y'all waiting on?
I mean, just like people accept capitalism, they think it's the norm. You know, they think it's the norm for there to be poor people and rich people. You know, they believe that that's the way God made it, you know, which is the problem. You know.
Right, let's get down to business, shall we? Now, let's see. Now, that's $20 contract hire, $30 for this month's food, oh, and $10 for last month's food. Mind those calories, Dudley. And then there's $20 for use of tools, $30 land rental, and oh yes, $20 for repairs to the boundary. Now you're all going to have to contribute to that, you understand. Well, I'm afraid, Dudley, that leaves you $20 in debt, and last month's, and that's $40 in total. You're going to have to work a lot harder than this if you're going to hope to be in credit, Dudley.
But I'm sure I'll pay.
Please, Dudley, don't. Of course, that's good fellow. Next!
But in the context of modern society, the people lived as deprived in relationship to the greater society as they did.
Ain't gonna rise. We ain't meant to. We work so hard and it all gets taken away, because it ain't ours. I want more than that. You understand me? I want more than that. Up there on top deck, there are people living off what we grow, wearing fine clothes from the cotton we pick, eating chocolate from the cocoa we grind, drinking sugar from the cane we cut. I want that. I want that.
Well, the message is, they say, rise up. When are we going to rise up? When are we going to stop this? When are we going to stop these people from oppressing us? When are we going to do that?
When are we gonna rise up, brother? When are we gonna take our own place, brother? Like the world had just begun.
I mean, when are we going to lift our heads and voices and show the world who we really are?
Gods, warriors, lovers, the first men to walk this star. Yes, oh yes, the first men to walk this star. How far, how long will it be when this world belongs to you and me? When we gonna rise above the sun?
The responsibility, well, the responsibility is on not only on the Afro-American people or black people to liberate themselves, but it's on all people who consider themselves progressive to help in that liberation. It's the world that's being affected, not just black people. You know, it's the world itself, you know.
Now let me say this, the thing that we are challenged to do is to keep this movement moving. There is power in unity and there's power in numbers. As long as we keep moving like we are moving, the power structure will have to give in. And we are probably nearer to a solution of this problem than we are able to realize.